Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another D&D storytelling adventure thing. Basically, if you're new to this, I basically just tell how our D&D campaign is going because I'm a huge fan of D&D and I love it so much. And I'm currently the DM, so yeah. On the last episode, the group made their way to Northrend to save their dear friend Ranzor after being captured by a couple of vampires. Upon saving him, Ranzor and Utaga made their way back to the castle where they were brought, where they seen a unpleasant surprise, especially for Utaga. Ranzor's new half blood elf, half draconian child or son, due to some very bad decisions in Silvermoon City. The group took a little bit to, after getting back from Northrend, to kind of relax for a little bit before heading to the Abyss, where they were told where Blair's parents were taken. The group prepared, actually, for once, buying potions and going to the cathedral to find one of Vanillah's healing stones, as they made their way to Dalaran using Waven's teleportation circle spell for teleporting to Dalaran, and then using one of the portals in the portal room to the Abyss. As they stepped through this amethyst portal, they appeared in what seemed to be a colorless, destroyed ruins of a city, where there were undead swarming the entire area, where gravestones littered the entirety of this area, and there were black twisted trees that were lying around and just did not look like a friendly place, as they just appeared in this bright flash of light in the middle of this area. They caught a lot of attention of undead, and they quickly made refuge inside a building. They quickly went inside. Looking around, they seen a blood trail leading inside a room. Blair, looking for traps, surprisingly, found what looked to be a switch with a rope tied to it, and the rope leading up to a big, great axe. She got the example, if she would have tripped this rope, the axe would have went inside her face. She managed to disarm it perfectly without making any sound as she lowered the axe to the ground, as Ranzor picked it up and claimed it as his. As they stepped inside this room, they seen a female humanoid who was badly injured in her side. She greeted them, telling them her name is Nyla. Nyla being one of Anaris, the king's top warriors in the Battle of the Plane Destroyer. They greeted her, and they quickly healed her up. Upon healing her, she did let out a really bad moan of pain as she caught the attention of some undead, so Ranzor and Blair quickly barricaded the door so no undead could get in to stop them from healing Nyla. Nyla explained that she was stuck here for a while. Her and her friend Kieran, and Kieran being a Volo's guide of monsters, creature that only follows certain celestial beings. It seems Nyla has entered into a new state of worship and power and loyalty, but the group didn't know that too much. They talked with Nyla for a little bit since she needed a rest, as she summoned Kieran. Kieran talked to them. Was this gold-scaled, almost a little taller than Ranzor, a celestial being. It looked like a unicorn. That's up instead of white, fur. It was gold-scaled and really beautiful creature. Nyla talked. She explained that her and Anaris used to be lovers in the past before Yennefer kind of stepped in the way. Due to some traumatic events, Anaris' past, they used to be when him and Nyla first met. They were Anaris picked up her lamp, and they worked together. However, the two of them didn't get along at first, so she gave her away to a harpy that was with them in the group. And as they traveled, trying to stop Tiamat's rise, they kind of bonded a little well until they failed to stop Tiamat from rising, and the harpy fled, leaving the site, leaving Inaris, and separating Inaris and Nyla. So that was kind of where their little love tale came to an end. And then somehow, upon being passed around from different universes, different planes, now ended up as the Tav, being a different material plane, and the same one Inaris was. However, Inaris didn't really remember her. And Yennefer was already in the picture here. She explained that to them. They were like, "Oh, okay, well, it's good. The Inaris is okay. Don't worry about it," and etc. etc. She told them. She asked them why they were here, and they were talking about how they came from Blair's parents. If you know any location of where they might be, she explained Orcus is the. Or Kieran might be able to tell you. And Kieran mentioned of Orcus, who is in the Everlost, being a area kind of far away from here that usually contains prisoners. So they decided to make their way there, riding on Kieran's back. Kieran being able to travel very fast, like 240 feet or something like that. They made their way to this lair where the ground became bone, and there was 2 pillars of obsidian, and obsidian surrounded this area. So they were greeted by these 2 whitish grayish beings that had these bright glowing gray eyes. As they meted them, they could see. They asked him, "Why are you here? What are you doing here?" And before they said anything, they said something I just don't remember. They took them to meet Orcus. Orcus being a Balor, this large red demon with big horns, big sprouting wings, with a lightning sword and a flaming whip. I mean, this masculine, large demon greeted them. Blair asking for her parents. Balor refused to give them unless they would trade something in return, such as souls or anything else. The group took a long while to decide what to do here. They left the place, and literally for an hour, and I mean an hour in real life time, they were trying to think of what we can do here after coming up with many strategies. They decided, you know what, let's just fight them. Let's just go in and let's just fight them. Let's just do it. So that's what they did. They ran inside, and they're like, "Alright, Orcus, you're gonna die." So they fought Orcus. It was a pretty long fight. I don't think anyone died. Kieran made sure to keep them alive, using a lot of her healing powers. Upon killing Orcus, this plane of existence was starting to get destroyed. So they quickly freed all these cages. These cages have a bunch of people in them, being from men, women, kids of all different races. They quickly searched for her parents. Blair did find her parents, and they were trying to decide what to do here. How do we bring these people back? There were, I think, 26 kids, and there were all of them being Blair, Rayrin, and Kieran. They could plane shift all the kids, and the rest of the group being Rayrin, Ranzor, Oberon, and then Blair's parents, the 2 of them. But they would have to leave the parents behind. They'd fire some of the parents to take their kids away to save their kids. And upon plane shifting out, Oberon, using his new spell, his Hell's Fury, being a nuke, he casted on all the people that broke out of the prison, that were freed out of the prison. He cast a big nuke on the civilians. As they looked up, seeing what looked to be the sun, as the sun began to get closer and closer and closer until they figured it wasn't the sun, as they were completely obliterated and incinerated from any plane of existence. Oberon did this for the reason of he didn't want their souls to be kept here and forever. If some demon were to come along and want to imprison them forever, he wanted them to at least have some kind of different ending to their lives. So they were eviscerated and obliterated as they all traveled through these planes of existence, this white space. They ended up in they ended back up at Stormwind as they landed in this white big flash. As they took a minute to look around, they seen that Stormwind was not how they left it. They now seen that portals of all different colors have opened up all around, and that buildings and the castle is now floating. It's almost, when Raven went into limbo, it's exactly how it was, but and now in this material plane. It seemed the elemental mages were killed, and upon killing them in the planes of existence, the portals broke into chaos and began to open up all around, and just caused this whole entire material plane to break into havoc, and now into limbo as just monsters of all different kinds have broke out. As they appeared, they looked around. They quickly got the people to safety, as Nara yelled at them, telling them to get inside the capsule. Yennefer is waiting to send them to the Void. Basically, your last chance at this. If you defeat that Void Dragon, all this would end. This is all on you. As they ran inside the castle, Blair looked up and seen a flock of raven feathers flying over the castle, and as she pointed out to Renzo was, oh boy. As they ran inside the castle, they seen the Raven Queen and Yennefer facing each other. They were both kind of looking at each other. The Raven Queen says, "Your time is now, Renzo, or I need you to kill the last elemental mage," pointing at Yennefer, being the Void Mage. The last elemental mage in the whole planes of existence. The Raven Queen yelled at her, telling her to explain what she did, or what she's doing, and that she's messing with powers that are beyond her control. And Yennefer explained that when she came to this material plane, after discovering Pelor's light, she wanted all the material planes to experience this sweet gift of peace. So she wanted to duplicate Pelor's light in this comet and make multiples of it and send it throughout this all the different planes of existence. She would send them through the void, this unknown dimension that they're not too familiar with. This is completely new. She ended up creating Shatara, being the void dragon that wreaked havoc on different planes of existence. However, upon creating Shatara, Yennefer gave Shatara Pelor's light, hoping she would explain it or bring it to different planes of existence. However, Shatara did not, and instead just started destroying planes of existence. That's when she decided to get an army together and bring havoc on the Void Dragon and Shatara to bring peace back to the material plane. However, that did result in Pelor's light being destroyed, so she talked about how she gathered all 10 shards, and she pulled out a backpack showing all 10 shards, and that she's going to give it to Shatara and try to duplicate all the Pelor's lights once more. As Renzor went to attack her, she deflected his weapon, and then Oberon casted a fireball as she casted this purple beam. And as this purple beam, this fireball connected, the ball began to expand even more and more until it consumed the whole entire room. The group were traveled through a rift once more into space and time as they appeared in what looked to be a modern-day city. However, the modern-day city, instead of being skyscrapers and big towns, it looked to be vacant, and nature has completely overgrown here. There were trees everywhere, moss. It just looked like an old abandoned city. There was no cars. Instead of cars, it was carriages with horses that have decayed. As they looked around, it appears they're either in some different dimension or have been forwarded in time. And that was when we stopped for this episode. So the group right now is in some kind of they're quite confused. They have no idea what's going on. However, it would all be explained on Thursday. Thursday, I'm looking forward to. I've been waiting for this part for a while. This is, I think, hopefully 2 more sessions left. Hopefully, if not, It just depends how they go, because usually sometimes we get off of hand, or out of hand, sometimes we don't. It just sort of depends. But yeah, that's it for this episode. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next episode of D&D, the Plane Destroyer campaign. Bye-bye.